Thursday, the 4th of September, already the third day of school for kids, and hopefully they had a great start to the day. The weather certainly is cooperating. We're going to take you to D.C. now, where the FOTUS, the First Lady of the United States, is hosting a task force on AI and the importance to the American worker, and that workers be trained in AI to meet the future and its challenges. So let's listen in.
Power of artificial intelligence. We're using artificial intelligence to harness fusion energy, something I worked on 40+ years ago. We're using it to understand the basic fabric of the universe. So these incredible scientific endeavors, but perhaps the killer app, the most important use of AI, is for education and to fix one of the greatest American shortcomings, our K-12 education system. I am so thankful and inspired by the First Lady to focus all of us. We've got to not leave our kids behind. We've been doing that for decades. We've got to fix our education system. AI is a transformative tool to do that. Michael Kratsios here is taking that bull by the horn and pushing it forward. I could not be more thrilled to be part of this effort. My wife and I have been in school trying to fix the school system for 30 years, through school choice, through school reform, through starting schools, through running camps, through doing everything we can. But with the leaders in this room and the leadership of the First Lady and Michael Kratsios, I think we can move the needle if we all dig deep in the next few years. God bless you, and thank you for being here.
Great. David?
All right, thank you. Everyone's already been thanked, but I also want to add my thanks to the First Lady for championing the Presidential AI Challenge and your clear dedication to America's school children. So thank you, Madam First Lady. And I also want to thank our OSTP Director, Michael Kratsios, for his tireless efforts leading this initiative as well, and also helping to make sure the U.S. dominates every part of the AI stack. From his first days in office this year, President Trump has shown visionary and decisive leadership in this critical technology of AI. And we've made, I think, amazing progress over the last 7 months. There's been too many wins to list all of them here, but I want to just mention a few. In the first week of his administration, President Trump rescinded hundreds of pages of unnecessary regulation, burdensome and unnecessary regulation on our AI model companies and on our chip companies. And instead, in lieu of that, he initiated the development of an AI action plan that we just released a few weeks ago. And at the action plan's unveiling, this was on July 23rd, President Trump gave, I think, a momentous policy speech on AI, which is the most important speech that's been given on AI by any official. And he made the pillars of our AI policy being pro-innovation, pro-infrastructure, pro-export, and pro-worker. And he also signed 3 executive orders that day to help further this policy. So the first was to make it easier to build new data centers and energy infrastructure. And thanks to President Trump's leadership, he's already attracted hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into the United States for data centers and energy infrastructure. And as he likes to say, the U.S. is the hottest country in the world right now, thanks to his leadership. The second executive order established the American AI Exports Program to ensure American leadership across the world. We want to make sure that the American tech stack wins internationally as well. And the third executive order banned the federal government from procuring ideologically biased or woke AI. We want to make sure that AI only pursues truth, fairness, and impartiality. So I think those are just some of the amazing accomplishments that the administration has made over the last 7 months. As we meet here to discuss AI education and empowering America's children, it's still the very early days of this incredible industry, and I'm reminded of what President Trump said during that AI speech, that he said that American AI is like a beautiful baby that's just been born. We have to grow that baby and let that baby thrive. And he's absolutely right about that. And we have to enable our children to thrive with it. And let me acknowledge that when it comes to the topic of AI, there is a lot of fear out there. Some people think that AI is going to take all of our jobs. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think AI is going to unleash a productivity boom like we've never seen. It's going to make all of us more productive. It's going to make our jobs more satisfying. And there's an online quote that's been flying around that says, you're not going to lose your job to AI, but you might lose your job to someone who uses AI better than you. And I think there is some truth to that, that AI is going to be the ultimate boost for our workers, and it is important that they learn from an early age how to use AI, and that's why it's critical that our children learn AI, and that's why this program is so important to further AI education. And it's important, I think, to further it for school children in every part of America, every socioeconomic class or bracket, because this is really fundamental to equality of opportunity for every child in the country. And finally, the last thing I want to say is just that I want to thank all of the companies that are here today who have their resources to AI education. I think this is really important. President Trump, in his AI speech, called on our technology companies to promote a new spirit of patriotism and national loyalty, and that's what you're all doing here today. So I think that's fantastic. And I think each of you of your companies and the nonprofits who are here today, they've recognized the opportunity to serve your fellow citizens and help build a great American future. You're all in for America. We really appreciate that. You're putting America first, and we look forward to hearing more about your contributions, and I think we'll do that next. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. I think now we'll briefly hear from 3 of our more than 135 generous pledge signers: Arvind Krishna from IBM, Cameron Wilson from Code.org, and Sundar Pichai from Google. Each say a few words about their contributions. So maybe Arvind, if you want to start.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to be here and contribute to help build America's AI-ready workforce. Let me begin by first thanking the First Lady, Mrs. Melania Trump, for helping lead this effort and galvanize all of us into contributing, but also to President Trump for all of his efforts around AI, as David just spoke about. Let me also thank the cabinet members who are here for all the efforts that they are putting into helping build America's AI-ready workforce. Addressing the AI skills gap is going to be essential for us to achieve what we all want to with AI contributing to America's leadership, but also to America's productivity. The President's AI Action Plan shows us the way to that future by empowering American workers to lead in the AI economy. As the plan highlights, U.S. companies also have a central role to play in building this workforce. By partnering with government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and communities, as well as educators, we can deliver the training that meets the demands of the labor market. IBM has long embraced this collaborative approach, and we are fully committed to upholding this responsibility. We are proud to join the pledge by committing to train 2 million American workers in cutting-edge AI skills over the next 3 years. We will do this through a groundbreaking program called IBM Skills Build, which we launched to help expand access to AI education, but also to create pathways for these.
You're listening live to a meeting task force that is happening right now in the nation's capital, hosted by First Lady Melania Trump. The focus is AI and how to get AI education in the hands of America's workforce, as well as our children in the classrooms. You're hearing from company leaders, companies like IBM, forecasting what they believe the role of AI will be in their business and how important it is for the American workforce to adapt and to learn these new skills, identifying it as the most important thing for the economy's success in the future. In April, President Trump did sign an executive order aiming to incorporate AI into America's courtroom. So we're going to take you back there, but just wanted to clue you in to what you're listening to this afternoon, happening right now on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Proud to be part of the President's program and part of his national AI education initiative, with its emphasis on collaboration across the different sectors. We look forward to working with the administration and with all of our partners to achieve these goals. Thank you. With that, Cameron Wilson of Code.org.
Thank you so much, and I deeply appreciate the invite today so that Code.org can come speak to you about our nonprofit work that we're doing around AI education. So just a few months ago, 450 CEOs, many of whom are in this room today, came together and called on states to require computer science and AI education for every student. Only 12 states do this today. These leaders really recognize the moment that we're in, which is AI education is the global competitiveness issue that faces us today. And we really need to meet this moment with an education system that provides students with AI education, and specifically, students really need to learn how AI works. They really need to understand the opportunities, the risks, the limits of AI, and the underlying computer science that is driving this innovation forward. Simply learning to use AI just won't be enough. We need to spark their curiosity and build their confidence so they can be agile as the workforce changes with AI, or as AI changes itself. And we need to empower them so that they can envision and really express how they can shape a better future with AI. Steve Jobs had a great quote he used to have, and it was why he loved to learn computer science, because it taught him to think differently about problems. And that doesn't change in the age of AI. So both the Presidential AI Challenge and the AI Executive Order recognize the moment that we're in. They will catalyze state-led efforts to help modernize our education system. And I want to thank the White House and the First Lady's leadership on this, because this is a priority we must place in our AI education system.
We will continue to monitor what is happening here in this task force centered on AI and how that is shaping our world, whether we like it or not. Even if you are not a subscriber or believe in AI and have your doubts about it, your phone is taking steps to bring you in. When you go to your email in your phone, for instance, Gmail, there's a summary of what that message is about. That's AI. On Facebook already, there have been, it started off as suggestive, like predictive words to help you finish a sentence. That was the beginning of AI, and now again, posts are being summed up, responses, your people who comment on your posts, that's being summed up. That is all a part of AI. So again, we will continue to follow that story. This is kind of a weird shot, don't we think? We'll work with that a little bit later. Anyway, let's talk about Powerball, shall we? I know you probably woke up this morning, or maybe you stayed up last night to figure out if anyone had won. Well, no one did. It takes $2 to play. The drawings are held on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So that means the next time to win is on Saturday. The odds of winning the grand prize getting slimmer and slimmer. Now it's 1 in 292 million, give some, and some change there. But Powerball fever is raging. In California, 2 winning Powerball tickets worth $980,000 were sold in Southern California just for kicks. If you want to know how close you came to matching the numbers that won on Wednesday for the smaller prizes, 3, 16, 29, 61, 69, and the Powerball was 22. And so the 2 tickets that were sold that are worth some money, one was in Riverside and the other was in Bakersfield. And so that now means that the Powerball jackpot rises to an estimated $1.7 billion to the next drawing, which is Saturday, September 6th, making this the game's 3rd largest prize ever. We're going to take a break on the Wisconsin Live Desk, kind of center up my shot. And when we come back, we're going to check in shortly with Ashley Sears with some exciting news that's happening with the South Shore. Back in a moment.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. If you have tuned in at any point in the almost 26 years that I've been here at Fox 6, you know that I love coffee and anything to do with coffee. There's some coffee news. Starbucks doing something very sweet, or actually not sweet. They're helping you pump you up. They will add protein drinks available starting September 29th. Protein lattes, protein cold foam. The ads are between, this adds between 15 and 26 grams of protein. The best of both worlds, because I am someone who struggles getting protein, and I find myself having or eating things that I don't necessarily love because they contain protein, but I know that it's necessary. So how cool is it to get what you need, protein, adding 15 to 26 grams of protein in your latte or your cold foam? Amazing. I drink Boost, and I think I only get maybe 10 grams. Maybe Boost Maximum, I think I get 20 grams. But again, if I can get this in my coffee, that's a win-win for everybody. So we're going to check in shortly with Ashley Sears on an exciting new project that has the mayor's support. We're talking about a new cruise ship dock for the South Shore. This would be located on South Lincoln Memorial Drive. It would be the third designated cruise dock and will serve as a future port of call for some vessels. So Ashley Sears, you probably don't know this about her, but she is very seaworthy, I should say, or at least lake-worthy. Ashley Sears is following this story. Hold on a second, Ashley, as I get your volume up there. Hey, Ashley, what's going on?
Am I seaworthy, lake-worthy?
You're lake-worthy. I know. You and your husband, Ben, you like the water.
Yeah. He drags me on a bunch of different boat excursions from time to time, so I guess I feel like maybe I am a little lake-worthy. So I'm excited to be on this story, though, Kim. We're standing in the spot that's going to be the newest South Shore cruise dock, and they'll be getting a major upgrade. Today, city leaders broke ground. Right now, you can see there is work happening right behind me. They are getting ready to build this dock, which we are told will be completed by June of 2026. And right now, cruise ships currently dock in a commercial port that is right next to MMSD. So you can imagine maybe not the best first impression for cruise ships. And they're getting a major upgrade with this view. I'm gonna have Mike, my photographer here, pan over. This is what they'll be seeing now as they pull in from Lake Michigan. They'll be getting the best view of the city just south here of the Hone Bridge. And this project is going to cost about $17 million. $4 million of that is coming from state grants, $7 million from the city, and the rest is coming from port carryover funding. And we are just east of the Lake Express Ferry. So right now, the Lake Express Ferry docks just adjacent to this. I'm gonna have Mike pan over this other way now. We're doing a lot of panning.
I'm like,
here.
whoa!
So this is where the Lake Express Ferry pulls in, and they usually, you know, the visitors get to see this amazing view. Now, everyone who arrives via cruise ship will get this view. And city leaders are hoping this new dock will attract more cruises to the area. They said this cruising season, which ends in October, it started in May, had 22 cruises. Next year, they say 55 are expected here, and they are hoping even more will be headed here with this beautiful new dock that will be completed in June of next year.
What a beautiful morning or afternoon for a groundbreaking. And you and your family took a trip on the Lake Express Ferry.
Yeah, we just did about a week ago, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and we pulled in here. And it really is a stunning view for anyone who takes that ferry. And when you pull in, you say, oh my gosh, we have the best view. When you pull into Muskegon, Michigan, it's a beautiful beach. Sure, there's the lighthouse and whatnot. But the skyline here is just gorgeous, and it's a great first impression to have for visitors. And we talked to some people getting off the ferry about, you know, what they thought of it, and they said it really is stunning, and they do come back time and time again, visitors from Michigan. And that's what city leaders are hoping, that they're getting these cruise ship visitors from not only the United States, all over the world, and it's becoming a destination. And then they dock here, they go around the city, they buy beer and food and enjoy everything that Milwaukee has to offer.
You have to take a picture of this because as you were setting up your shot, I was like, it looks like a farm field. What is Ashley's story? So it's kind of cool that there is such a vision for this that I probably looked over and just saw nothing. Well, I didn't see anything there, but it's now going to be something to see as folks arrive on the Lake Express ferry. Would you recommend the ferry? Was it choppy?
You know, I've been on it twice now. We do that thing where we donate a bike, so it's, you know, you get a free ticket, then you get 1/2 off, so it's not too expensive. And both trips, to and from, have been smooth sailing. So we've been lucky. The people coming off today said it was pretty rough. So
were they kind of weaving and bobbing a little bit?
Yeah, they said we were looking out the window. We didn't get to go up on top. They said it was choppy waters there. I have been on one where when we walked on, they handed you that barf bag.
Oh gosh.
We didn't have to use it. No one had to use it. So luckily, yeah.
I can imagine your job just got a little tougher. Trying to interview people who may be just like a little queasy. It's like, excuse me, before you use that barf bag.
But exactly. Excuse me, I know that you probably don't want to talk to me right now.
And you are a little green.
The charm level a little bit.
You got it. Ashley, thank you so much. I don't want the forklifts to run you over. So thank you so much. We'll see your story here on Fox 6 News at 4, 5, and 6. Have a great afternoon.
Yep. Thanks, Kim.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
That's Ashley Sears. So again, just recently on the Lake Express ferry about a week ago. Enjoyed her time, highly recommended it, and other folks as we get this new dock built in time for next year's cruising season. It's going to be spectacular because isn't that the best view of Milwaukee when you're kind of coming in from the southern suburbs, Cudahy, South Milwaukee, over the freeway or over the Hone? Really the best views of Milwaukee, but there's not a lot bringing you that way, and so this is another avenue that people will be able to see that stunning view from the lake. We're going to take a break and check in with Stephanie Barrichello on the weather forecast. I know there's a possibility of some rain as we get closer to the weekend. How much of a possibility? When? She'll have that coming up. You're watching the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Sometimes we get the privilege of seeing from the sky above. This is one of our Fox affiliates. I'm not sure where we are, but oh, someplace nice. That looks like palm trees. So I'm going to guess this is Arizona. My producer Delaney in my ear, I was like, I'm going to guess this is Arizona. Arizona, taking a live look. Not really sure why we're seeing a cemetery. Just an interesting shot out of Arizona. As we get more information, as we get more information on that, we will bring it to you. We're also keeping an eye on Tennessee. We are expecting some court proceedings to begin shortly, circling back to this case that 4 people were murdered in Tennessee. This is the preliminary hearing for Austin Drummond. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and weapons charges of allegedly killing 4 people in Lake County and abandoning a baby in Dyer County. You'll remember this story from July. The victims were found July 29th, and Drummond was arrested after a manhunt on August 5th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has charged 3 additional people for allegedly helping Drummond after the murders. So as soon as this begins in Tennessee, we're going to bring it to you, bumping up the sound right now. We're not hearing anything right away, but this is an update on a case, again, that gained national attention, a tragic case. 4 people in one family murdered, and now a child, a baby, without the mother or grandmother in this tragedy that played out in Dyer County, Tennessee. I keep doing that. Hey, it's me. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk for this 4th day of September. We spoke briefly, why don't we bring this back, about something Starbucks is doing that is going to be pretty cool. And that's adding protein to your drink, available starting September 29th. So already we're jazzed about PSL season. Oh, let me go back to this. This is the cool shot. I believe this is in Arizona at the ballpark there. Apparently that's how they make sure that all the lights are functioning for the games there. Wow. Can you imagine? You definitely cannot be afraid of heights, and you definitely have to be tethered to something. Not really getting any sound from that, but yeah, you see a couple workers there as our affiliate in Arizona is just kind of out getting what we call beauty shots for the day in Arizona. That is Chase Field, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's pretty cool. This park opened in 1998, the year the Diamondbacks debuted as an expansion team. Let's see what their schedule looks like.
About as far out as I can get on my seat here.
Hold on, please. As we look. How about those Brewers, though? Still pretty hot. I cannot imagine that being a part of, you know, what do? Well, I climb really, really high, and I make sure that all the lights are functional for the baseball games. So the Diamondbacks take on Boston Red Sox tomorrow, the 5th, at Chase Field. And so that's some of the behind-the-scenes work that goes on before a game to make sure that, you know, everything is working. Can you imagine? I bet it's pretty obvious when a light is out, like a car on a road, when a tail light is out. Let's see, there is something going on. Delaney, I believe ELC5, are we allowed to take that one? Okay.
DJJ, search an area trying to locate a person who escaped. Information was obtained about a car that may be involved in the escape. About 8:50 at Wilson Boulevard and Sharp Road, our deputy spotted the car and did a stop on the car. Inside the car was the escapee. She was there, but she was also in the car with her mother. It just shocks me that a mom who knows what her daughter has done, knows that she's escaped, and here she is basically trying to get her out of town. But not only was both of them in the car, there was also 2 guns in the car. One of the guns had been reported stolen out of Richland County previously. That night, Mills here, who was the mom, was initially charged with aiding the escape of a prisoner with a capital offense. Pay attention to that 2 words, capital offense. That's murder. Go back to January of this year when a 13-year-old girl...
So what you're listening to, this is from Richland County. A mom in South Carolina is facing charges for allegedly helping her child escape from juvenile detention. The 16-year-old escaped from the detention Sunday evening before being found in her mom's car. She has been arrested, also the mom, and you heard that that child was being detained on a capital offense. So let's listen in.
Can't discuss anything about the escape. You'll have to get that from the Department of Juvenile Justice. I can talk about what our involvement was and what we've done. Mills was released shortly after her arrest on a $10,000 bond. We continue to work on the case along with DJJ. Yesterday we went back and arrested Mills. We charged her with possession of that stolen weapon. She's also charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She had a bond hearing today. Bond was set at $150,000. If she makes that bond, she's on house arrest. She has a GPS monitor. I want to thank the magistrate who set that bond. I think this was a very appropriate bond when you look at all the facts of this case.
So you've just heard that a mom is accused of helping her daughter escape juvenile detention. That daughter wanted for some very serious charges, and when the child was found, the teen was found, also were found some weapons. Now we're going to take you to Tennessee, where the proceedings have started in a case
We're going to have some statements and some evidence that
where
may
4
be
people were
entered
killed in
today
Tennessee in July.
that may be difficult to hear, may be upsetting to hear. If at any time you feel that you cannot sit and listen to the proceedings, I would ask that you step outside. If anyone does have to step outside, that's fine. I don't mind that. If a disruption is made, then you will be removed from the courtroom. And if further disruptions are made, the court has the right to hold you in contempt of court, or the sheriff's office has the right to issue charges for disorderly conduct. I don't want to see that happen, and I don't think that we're going to have that happen. But I just have to give everybody that notice prior to this hearing starting. Mr. Goodman, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. General Hayes, good afternoon. Mr. Huffman, Mr. Mason, good afternoon. Mr. Drummond, good afternoon, sir. What are we proceeding on first? Because I know there is a motion before the court, and also we have a preliminary hearing. So how do we want to take that up?
We'll just do the preliminary hearing first.
Okay. Does the state have its list of who it intends to call today during the preliminary?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, the state intends to call Officer Corey Hussey, Deputy Hunter Brady, Special Agent Special Agent Justin Tubbs, Special Agent Scott Lawson, and Brandon Wheeler, Officer Wheeler.
Okay. Anyone else, General?
No, Your Honor, I think that's it.
Okay. Is anyone from the defense going to be called for as a witness?
No, Your Honor, we will call them.
Okay. Folks, if your name has been called, and I don't know all of you who they just called out, I know some of them, but for those of you whose name was just called, you will have to step outside the courtroom while the others are testifying. Rule 615 of the Tennessee Rules of Evidence says that witnesses must be sequestered for that purpose. You cannot discuss the case with one another prior to your testimony. Who's the first witness for the state going to be?
It'll be Officer Hussey.
Okay, Officer Hussey. If everyone else who was called as a witness would step out at this time, and when we are ready for your testimony, we will have a deputy come outside to retrieve you at that time.
Yeah, our Special Agent Tubbs is our designated party in interest.
Yes. court will take note that Special Agent Tubbs is the prosecuting witness designated by the state of Tennessee. Mr. Huffman, in general, I know y'all's normally my routine is in preliminaries. I'm happy to hear from either party on any opening, but if everybody wants to just proceed to direct examination, I'm fine either way. I just wanted to kind of get the lay of the land from y'all.
Yes, the state will waive any opening remarks. Waive opening remarks, yes.
We'll proceed then to direct examination. I do want to make sure I have officially put this on the record. We are hearing the matter. I should have done that first. I apologize. We are hearing the matter of State of Tennessee versus Austin Robert Drummond in cases number 25 CR 48067, 48068, 48069, and 480.
This is the preliminary hearing for the suspect in 4 people murdered in Tennessee in July. We are going to monitor that. We're also monitoring a situation in Arizona where a mother, a 39-year-old mother, now is accused of helping her daughter, 16-year-old daughter, escape from juvenile detention. The daughter being held on some very, very serious charges there. And then I want to take you to out east, I should say, and we are waiting for a news conference to begin. The governor of Massachusetts is going to talk about that state's plans to ensure that vaccines are available for all who want them after some pretty differing advice from the CDC. That has definitely been a topic. The health secretary has also been testifying this morning about the recent changes that have happened, including the firing of the CDC director, Susan Menares, after only 1 month. So we are going to be following that situation. And then we also got a little bit more information on this before we go to break. I just want to clarify. This is Mesa, Arizona. Delaney, thank you, our producer on the live desk, letting us know that a worker was actually stuck while changing he was struck in the head while changing lights on a pole at Hohokam Stadium, and crews were working to rescue the worker near Center Street and Brown Road. So that's what we're looking at, something a lot more serious than we originally thought. I thought I was actually looking at the A's stadium, but this is where the A's do their spring training at Hohokam Stadium. And so apparently a worker was struck in the head while changing lights on a pole there, and crews are now working to rescue the worker. This is unfolding right now in Mesa, Arizona. I don't believe we're hearing anything from our helicopter pilot from our affiliate. No, not really. Okay, so you are watching the Wisconsin Live Desk. Quick break. Got a lot happening this afternoon. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Stephanie Barrichello taking time from her busy afternoon to join us on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Hey, Steph, what's the afternoon looking like? Oh, hold on. Almost had it. I see you, and now I hear you.
Okay, good. It could be my mic, too. You never know. But yes, Kim, it's going to be a chilly afternoon. It's nice that we have sunshine out there right now, but temperatures may only climb a degree or two more throughout the remainder of the day today. And temperatures this morning were the coolest, in Milwaukee at least, since early June. For the first time this season, we dropped into the 40s in Milwaukee. I'm sure there were a lot of people, myself included, who turned on the seat warmers in their car this morning. I know my kids needed their jackets as we left the house too. So that's the trend still for a couple more days. We've got 60s for high temperatures. Now today and tomorrow going to be some of the cooler days. Then through the weekend we'll at least get back to some middle, maybe even upper 60s. Here's a look at where we stand right now. Got a couple of upper 50s still. Places like Juneau and Waukesha, Burlington, 59 in Racine, and then Milwaukee as well as Kenosha, both around 61 degrees. You'll also notice as you step outside, maybe getting a late lunch in, just trying to enjoy some fresh air, a bit more cloud cover. Still plenty of sunshine out there, but more of a partly sunny sky. And these clouds are with us thanks to two separate disturbances here. We've got just a weak trough up towards the north of us, bringing in some light rain to places like the UP and far northern parts of our state. And then we've got this more widespread batch of rain out west that's working its way through Minnesota now. That's actually going to move into our area overnight tonight, but it could be as early as 9-10 p.m. that we start to see a few spotty showers in our area. And then it's pretty much gone by Friday morning. So this is going to be a pretty quick and rather weak area of rain that pushes through. And again, for the rest of today, it's still going to be dry. It's more so late tonight on into our overnight hours that we'll see the chance for some rain. That system is also going to bring in the wind. Now, I know it's already pretty blustery out there right now. We currently have wind gusts over 20 miles per hour in a handful of communities, especially near the lake. But out towards the west where that low pressure is, you can see parts of the Dakotas into western Minnesota here under wind advisories, and even that northern or northwestern part of North Dakota, we should say, under high wind warnings. Those spots could see wind gusts over 40 miles per hour today. In fact, already seeing some strong gusts in that area. Look at that, Bismarck, North Dakota, a current wind gust of 55 miles per hour. They're within that high wind warning area, maybe just south, but clearly they're seeing some of the stronger wind associated with that storm system. So we will eventually see some of that stronger wind ahead for tomorrow too. So it's more so overnight tonight, Friday, that we start to see a little bit of that rain and then on into some of those windier conditions. Even at this hour, though, I mean, look at Wausau to Milwaukee. We do have current wind gusts over 20 miles per hour. So I feel like it's been a while since we've talked about some really strong wind that's not necessarily attached to any thunderstorms. So that's what we will see for Friday. Thankfully, things will settle back down for Saturday. And again, just some perspective for you. I think overnight tonight into especially Friday morning is when we could see some of those stronger gusts. This points us more so at 30 to 35, but it's very possible we get a little bit closer to 40 miles per hour for tomorrow. So really just watching that system, Kim. For now, the afternoon is fine. Just grab that light jacket as you're out and about. But I do think the wind tomorrow is going to be a pretty big factor to the day.
You turned on your seat warmer.
Did you?
Not yet.
Really?
I know, not yet.
Oh,
but
I
I
feel
do,
dramatic.
I'm starting to bring a jacket or coat into work.
When you leave after those late night shows,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It really is. It really is. But I've just made do with the coat so far.
Okay, well, I'm impressed.
Okay.
I needed it this morning.
But
then
don't
you
hold
get
me to that.
You get hot so quickly.
I do. Girl.
It's on, it's off. It's on, it's off.
Right. That's another discussion for another program. I appreciate you taking the time, Steph.
Yes.
Yep. That's my girl. And we want to take you back out to what is happening in Mesa, Arizona. We were commenting on, can you imagine if this was your job that you had to change the lights? First of all, apologize, I was in the wrong stadium. This is where the A's hold their spring training, Hohokam Stadium. It's in Mesa. And what we know is that the fire department was called. A worker was changing lights on a pole on the north side of the stadium when he was hit in the head. and injured. And because of his head injury, didn't feel like, and wisely so, that he could come down on his own. And so what you're seeing right now, Mesa Fire trying to help this man get down from this very precarious situation, an injured worker there. We're getting information from our Fox station, Fox 10, out there, keeping us up to date on this. But yeah, so when we first joined you earlier, the first hour of the desk, we were thinking that this was, something routine that was happening. Had no idea that this is something far more serious, that there's a worker that is stuck so many feet above Hohokam Stadium with a head injury. And so we will continue to monitor this situation, and hopefully they can bring that worker down. I'm not really sure how they can do that, because you can see at the bottom of your screen there's a ladder truck, and there seems to be a line, like a zip line. I'm not really sure. Obviously, the ladder trucks cannot reach that elevation. So what it looks like, we're going to stay with this a little bit. It looks like they've got the worker in a harness, and they're going to lower him down to the bucket truck, with the rescuers. Let's see if we can hear anything. No, sorry about that. I'm not getting the best audio, so I'll just try to describe what I see, what you see with me, as you have this worker in this harness. You see two members of the Mesa Fire Department on each side of him. And so it looks like the plan, again, is that they're going to try to lower him down, almost like a zip line, down to the bucket truck, where help is arriving. We've been watching this for a little bit now. And trying to find out. So stadium light poles have significant height, anywhere from 100 plus feet for professional stadiums. Some of those poles as high as 250 feet in the air. So that, I mean, we're talking way up there. Typically, again, we're talking about, so this isn't quite a professional stadium, so maybe somewhere between 70 and 100 feet in the air. That's what high school light poles usually stand. But still, it's clearly higher than what the bucket trucks can achieve. I apologize that we're not getting any sound from our sister station covering this. But this is quite frightening. And you look at the size of those lights. I'm not really sure how the man hit his head, but I mean, he could have, significant head injuries. I mean, he did say that he did not feel that he could lower himself down. And don't know if he was working alone either. That's some of the questions that we're trying to get some information on, but we do see that right now emergency workers are there. Yeah, those lights can weigh anywhere between 68 to 72 pounds. So that's pretty significant if you get hit in the head with one of those. The man was working for the stadium there, trying to change some of the bulbs there. And this does not look like it's going to be a real quick process. I don't want to lose what's going on there, but we also are monitoring what's happening in Tennessee right now. We've got a deputy giving testimony in the preliminary hearing for a man who was charged with murdering 4 people of the same family. This happened back in July 29th. The person who is in court is Austin Drummond. He's charged with 4 counts of first-degree aggravated murder. Just popping over to that briefly. And also kidnapping a child and leaving that child, abandoning that child unharmed, thankfully, in a yard. So let's listen in a little bit here.
You had the 2 initial bodies and then 2 others. How far apart were they?
Probably like 60 feet.
But, were those bodies covered as well?
They were.
Same type material?
Same type material, tar.
Okay. Were you able to identify who any of them were at that time?
No, not at that time.
Did you have any other involvement with this case?
I did not.
One moment, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness.
Yes, sir. Mr. Huffman?
A few questions. Deputy Brady, okay, so you were dispatched in this area.
And while that is happening in Tennessee, as promised, we're going to take you to the East Coast now. Let's listen in on plans there to make vaccines more readily available after some shakeups with the CDC.
The great state of Massachusetts is going to be denied because of cost. No one. Second, in Massachusetts, CVS, Walgreens, and other pharmacies will continue to schedule and give vaccines, including for the flu and COVID. Now, last Friday, Commissioner Goldstein, at my direction, issued a standing order that ensures that pharmacies can provide a COVID vaccine to anyone who wants it. Essentially, what this means, and the commissioner is a doctor, he wrote a prescription for every Massachusetts resident that covers everyone in this state. In addition, this morning DPH updated its policy so that the commissioner and not the CDC will determine which vaccines can be administered by pharmacists in Massachusetts. I want to be clear about this because I know there is concern. People have been calling pharmacies and not able to get appointments.
Different approach there. Massachusetts governor saying a doctor has written a prescription for every single person in the state of Massachusetts to get a COVID-19 vaccine if he or she wishes. We were just watching, keeping an eye on what is happening in Mesa. It looks like we have some movement here. That worker who hit his head while changing a light at Hohokam Stadium is slowly being lowered now to the bucket truck because he's so far up that the rescuers could not actually get to where he is, his level, possibly as high as 100 feet in the air. So what we see here, it's almost like he's ziplining very slowly. He's secure in a harness. There were 2 Mesa Fire Departments responders there helping him get harnessed. If only we had some sound from this, but we're not getting any sound from this. But he looks to be moving. He looks to be close. Following the situation. I'd say one of the more dangerous jobs. There are rescuers who respond to closed spaces. There are responders who are trained for water rescues. And then there are responders who are trained for this, for high altitude rescues. All very specialized skills needed in a situation like this. Right now, we don't know if that worker was working alone when he hit his head, but he was changing lights on that pole. Thankfully, was able to call for help. Oh, wow. I think we passed the ladder truck, or the bucket. He's on the ground. He is on the ground, lowered directly onto a stretcher. That's amazing. Amazing. And you can see about a dozen first responders, fire department personnel, emergency personnel, medical personnel on there doing the initial triage. I guess that's what triage is the initial assessment. They've unhooked him. He's on the ground.
Copy that. Yeah, we're trying to get out of here as soon as we can. They just got this guy on the ground off that light pole, so we should be out of here pretty soon. We're running low on fuel anyways. Yeah, thanks for your help over there too. Appreciate it.
Okay. And that was our affiliates in Phoenix actually flew over to Mesa to cover this situation. The good news is that worker has now been rescued. So you are watching the Wisconsin Live Desk. There's been a lot going on. We're going to dip in right now to what is happening in Tennessee. This is the preliminary hearing for the man who's accused of killing 4 people and kidnapping and abandoning a baby. This happened in July. One of the detectives in the case on the stand right now providing the state's evidence on what prosecutors say happened.
State Exhibit 2, Ms. Jessica.
And Officer Wheeler, do you recognize what's also been handed up to you now?
I do.
And actually, let me give you this one first. You recognize that one as well?
I do.
Okay, and what is it?
It is a picture from the Motorola system in Dyersburg, capturing the vehicle going northbound on Highway 78.
And that's the same road with the California license plate?
All right, we are going to continue on with this hearing for a man charged in the murder of 4 people in Tennessee. On the other side of this, the next
At
voice that you will hear is
on
Haley
July 20th.
Spittler. She's covering the second hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk. Thanks for joining us for the first hour.
That
Continue to
particular
watch.
camera is located at the intersection of Lake Road and Radio Road, right in front of Love's.
Okay.
Could you repeat that again, where it was, intersection of where?
Yeah, Lake Road and Radio Road.
Radio Road, okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Between Love's and Cracker Barrel.
And do you make that one an exhibit to your testimony as well?
I do.
Okay.
Show this marked as State's Exhibit 3.
And then let's go back to the second picture that I actually handed up to you. You recognize that one as well?
I do.
Okay. And is it from the same camera that you just identified as the last picture?
It is from the same set of cameras facing a different direction.
Okay, which direction does that camera face?
This one is facing southbound towards the city.
All right. And what does it depict?
It shows a picture of the same Nissan Rogue California plate heading back in towards Dyersburg.
And what's the date and time on that?
This picture was taken at 2:15 p.m. on July 29th.
2025.
Correct.
Can you make that one exhibit to your testimony as well?
I do.
You want to wait to ask to make that state exhibit 4?
Okay, if I can take a look at it.
Absolutely. Show this marked as State's Exhibit number 4.
One more photo.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize that one as well?
I do.
And what system did it come from?
This is from the FOX system.
Is that in Jackson or Dyersburg?
Jackson.
And what date and time captures that one?
This picture was taken at 4:16 p.m. July 29th, 2025.
And does it depict the same road as we've seen in the previous ones?
Yes, same road, same license plate.
Okay. Do you make that exhibit to your testimony as well?
I do.
Then we'd ask to make that State's Exhibit 5. No objection.
Show this marked as State's Exhibit number 5.
You can have that passed back to Officer Wheeler just briefly, Your Honor, after this morning.
Sorry.
Officer Wheeler, on that last photo, was there anything of significance that you noticed?
Yes, this is a photo taken from the front angle of the vehicle, and you can see the driver in this photo.
Okay. And Can you describe the driver?
The driver appears to be a white male, has a goatee, and looks very similar to the defendant.
And was there anything that you noticed about the vehicle in that photograph?
Yes. So the vehicle in this photograph appears to be much dirtier, especially around the wheels and the rims, than it was previously earlier in the day.
They got him down safely. He's a big guy. He's
Yes, sir.
being treated right now in the ambulance.
Just a few questions. Detective Wheeler, so you were asked to look for a Nissan Rogue with California plates, is that correct?
I don't remember the exact parameters, but I believe we were looking for a Rogue with California plates.
Did you have a plate number?
No, sir.
All right. Once you located the vehicle in the photos that was presented in the evidence, did you continue looking for other Nissan Rogues with California tags?
Yes.
Did you find any more?
No.
And the only photo, I believe was Exhibit 5, was the front view of the vehicles. There were other ones from the rear, is that correct?
I don't remember exactly, but I think they were all from the rear.
Okay. And then the one on Exhibit 5, which is from the front.
Yes.
That's all.
Any redirect, General?
No, Your Honor.
Detective Wheeler, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. You're free to go, free to stay, whichever you choose to do, sir. Your next witness, General.
It's Special Agent Scott Lawson.
Agent Lawson. Agent Lawson, if you please come to the witness stand, sir.
Yes, sir.
And before you have a seat, if you would, sir, please raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name.
My name is Scott Lawson.
And do you work for the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
I do.
Okay, what is your current assignment with the FBI?
I'm a special agent on the Safe Streets Task Force.
Okay. And were you involved in the investigation as to this homicide in Lake County?
I was.
What role did you play?
Most of my experience is in the command post assisting with cell phone analysis from tolls, working with timelines and video review to assist in the exploitation of cell phone data.
Okay. And have you received training on cell phone data?
I have.
What kind of training have you received?
I'm a member of the FBI's child abduction team, and we get yearly training with our cellular analysis survey team. That's the experts at FBI headquarters with analyzing cell phone data, geolocation data. So when we deploy with the child rapid deployment team, we are consistently working in partnership with the CAS team to analyze cell phone data and kind of feed each other back and forth to further investigations.
Okay. And is that what you did here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What specific cell phone data did you look at?
We started off our investigation by doing a deep analysis on the tolls of the victims' cellular telephones. When I say tolls, I'm speaking of the incoming and outgoing calls from the victims' phones to include records of incoming and outgoing text messages.
Okay. And when you did that, did you notice anything in particular?
Yes, we worked off a theory due to many of the victims arriving at the scene where they were murdered at various times, right? So they didn't all just appear there together. So we worked under the theory that someone must have organized a meeting or at least some type of reason to get the 4 victims to the crime scene. So as we were looking at the victims' tolls, we were looking for any unknown or unusual cell phone activity, particularly any cell phone number that would have contacted any of the victims consistent with maybe asking them to come to this location.
Okay. And did a number stand out?
There was one number that was immediately interesting. It showed up on the cell phone analysis at approximately 6:38 that morning, 6:38 a.m. that number was unknown as far as the tolls that we had analyzed to that point of known numbers of associates of the victims. In addition, another thing that we do when we're working these investigations is try to determine when the victims' phones stop taking calls, right? We're trying to work on a timeline. We're trying to narrow everything down so that our cell phone data is strong as possible. We noticed from the 4 victims' phones that none of the victims
have been
answered
listening. We
a
have been
call
listening
or
into
made
this
a call.
hearing for a man charged in the murder of 4 people out of Tennessee. It is a tragic case that has unfolded there. It actually happened last month, where the man wanted in the killings of the parents, grandmother, and uncle of an infant that had been found abandoned in a front yard in western Tennessee was arrested last month. Obviously, he's charged in the now 4 counts of murder for those 4 lives lost. Again, that was 2 parents, a grandmother, and an uncle of an infant. That infant is still alive, but certainly a lot of hard details to learn out of this hearing in Tennessee. It's something that we've been monitoring here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and we will continue to monitor here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. A few other things that Kim had checked out for you. This one coming out of Massachusetts, where an announcement was made that anybody in Massachusetts that wants to get the COVID-19 vaccine, they can. You can see our signal isn't not necessarily the best here. It's a little blurry going in and out, but a doctor has written a prescription for everyone in the state of Massachusetts. If they would like to get that COVID-19 vaccine, they are able to. Another thing that's kind of new actually here on the Wisconsin Live Desk that we're monitoring is this situation out of Minnesota, where you can see on the right hand there of your screen what appears to be a small plane crash. We were looking at a couple of different angles. This appears to be either a drone or a helicopter getting us this feed. It looks like it's not too far from a runway to an airport. Again, this just recently popped up here on our live feed, so we don't have a ton of information. Myself and my producer will continue to monitor this and let you know what we can find out. But as you can see there, what appears to be a small plane has crashed. Again, this should be somewhere in Minnesota. The other kind of big story for the Wisconsin Live Desk this afternoon, there's an interview happening right now from officials. This is out of Mesa, Arizona, where we were looking at a baseball stadium. It's where the A's actually do their spring training. A crew worker was struck in the head on one of those very tall light poles. I mean, you think of a baseball stadium, those are very high up. They are very big in order to light the field. So yeah, they had to now work to rescue that worker who was struck in the head. So again, there looks like law enforcement is providing an update here. It's a situation we brought to you a little bit earlier on in the Wisconsin Live Desk, and something that we will continue to monitor. But as Kim mentioned, I'm Haley Spittler. I'm taking over here for the second hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk. There is a lot going on actually on the feeds today. You never know when you tune into the Wisconsin Live Desk if we're going to have tons of things going or if the grids sometimes are a little bit more bare, but we've got a lot to get to. So I want to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be back in just 2 minutes with a lot more news for you both locally and nationally. So stick with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is what I like to call Friday Eve, or really Baby Friday, also known as Thursday. Time check for you. It is 1:42. I'm Haley Spittler. I'll be spending the rest of this hour with you until 2:30 here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. If you look down, you can see it's 61 degrees here in Milwaukee. It is a little chilly out there, so if you're heading out the door, maybe grab a coat because you're going to want one. We're taking a live look in downtown Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum. Not a lot of people thinking about the NBA right now. I think they're more so thinking about the NFL. We've got our season opener tonight. We'll take you to Philadelphia a little bit later on in the show. But for now, we actually have a local story to get to. I'm going to bring in our very own Christina Van Zels. She's in Racine today, following up on a crash yesterday that involved a city bus where we saw 11 people hurt. Christina, what's the very latest in this situation?
Yeah, hey Haley. So today we actually got new video from the Racine Police Department that shows exactly what led up to that crash. So right now we're standing on 16th Street. As you mentioned, 11 people were injured as a result of this crash. It also involved a city bus where a lot of those passengers are high school students. The good news is all of those people are expected to recover from their injuries. But I want to take you to where we're at right now and what we're looking at. You can see some of the markings still in the street from this crash yesterday. This all happened around 3:30, and the video that we got into our newsroom this morning shows a Nissan driving recklessly up 16th Street here. Looks like they're speeding, then tries to, what it looks like, overcorrect or lost control of her vehicle, smashed into a bus, and also rear-ended a Jeep in this entire crash. So 2 other vehicles involved, the city bus and a Jeep. And police say that a 20-year-old woman was arrested as a result of this crash, and we're still waiting on formal charges. In this case, we know that, again, 11 people were taken to the hospital, and that new video does give a better picture as to what led up to this crash. So we're still waiting to see what comes out of those charges, if any are formally filed today. We just talked with a man who was filling up his car at the gas station on the corner here. He says that 16th Street is infamously known for people speeding and driving recklessly already. So he wasn't surprised when he heard about this, but he was surprised when he watched the video and just how jarring it really is to see. It shows the person driving that Nissan kind of swerving back and forth before rear-ending a Jeep and then ultimately hitting that city bus. So lots to still uncover here with those formal charges and if any are filed, but that is what we're working on today.
Yeah, Christina, you mentioned that, footage of the accident. It is jarring to see. I mean, it's a miracle that everyone is expected to recover. I mean, even the Nissan itself is very smashed up. I know you were talking to a man at a gas station. I'm curious, there's some homes behind you there. Have you been able to talk to any neighbors? What is their reaction to this accident?
Yeah, so we can show you kind of the span of the accident too. It is a little bit hard to see where we're standing, but if you look at the markings here, this is where that first rear end happened, where the Nissan hit the Jeep. Then if you kind of follow the street, there are some markings in front of a White House there. And we talked with the man off camera who lives in one of these homes. He didn't want to be identified, so we're not going to say which house he lives in, but he did say he heard this yesterday, and there were several, I think he said 3 people being worked on by EMS in his yard, and that this was very traumatic. He says he doesn't let his grandkids out and play on this street just because of how dangerous it's become. A lot of other doors we knocked on, people aren't home, but I know yesterday our Stephanie Quirk was out here talking with people, getting reaction from this crash. And like you said, Haley, it is a miracle that nobody had life-threatening injuries just based off of the car damage you can see and also the bus damage as a result of this crash.
Yeah, I know you're mentioning that video. You can find that, I'm sure, on Fox Local and on FOX6Now.com, as well as in your story later on today. I'm curious, has there been kind of a main message from law enforcement? Pay attention, slow down, anything like that?
Nothing we've heard today, as this is still unfolding and those formal charges have not been formally filed. So we did follow up with the Racine Police Department just about when those charges might come in, maybe 2 or 3 if any are formally, if anybody is formally charged. Again, we know a 20-year-old woman was arrested. But I think the message from the man we talked to at the gas station was simply slow down. He is fed up with people speeding on the street, and he questions what people's value is on their own life when they're driving like that. So his message was loud and clear, and we'll have more from him coming up later on Fox 6 News tonight.
Yeah, definitely still a lot to learn here in this situation, especially those potential charges for that 20-year-old driver of the Nissan. Well, Christina, thank you so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and we will stay tuned for your stories coming up later today.
Sounds good. Thanks, Haley.
All right, that was the latest out of Racine. Again, that was a car crash involving a city bus where 11 people were hurt. Thankfully, they are all expected to recover. Again, that video that we have on Fox Local, it is kind of scary to watch just how quickly things can change. In the aftermath of that, Nissan is incredibly smashed up. The Jeep has several, damage to it as well, and that city bus certainly had a lot of damage to it. So again, I'm just glad to hear that everybody is okay and recovering in that situation, and we will continue to monitor the driver who was arrested, but as Christina was telling us, no formal charges yet, so we'll monitor that and see if any charges come out of that accident. Well, we've been monitoring a lot here on the Wisconsin Live Desk today with our feeds. I am going to take us back to Tennessee for a little bit and continue listening into this hearing because it is a big story that is coming out of Tennessee. Again, police have arrested a suspect in the killings of 4 Tennessee family members. That man is Austin Robert Drummond. This is a hearing in those murder charges. He killed the parents, a grandmother, and an uncle of an infant. This would have been last month in August. He was taken into custody. Today we are hearing from some witnesses, and we will continue to listen in right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Say that phone is somewhere in that arc that represents the amount of time from the tower and back.
So at 1:38, you start seeing timing advanced data moving south from the crime scene?
That's correct.
Okay. And what happened next?
Still tracking south towards Dyersburg through 2:14 p.m. Then we have another license plate reader hit in Dyersburg at 2:15 p.m. From the next timing advanced data of significance was from 2:32 to 2:35. It was tracking towards Friendship, where the 8-month-old Westland was dropped off. The phone hit a arc right over the house where the baby was dropped off at approximately 2:35 p.m.
When you say the phone hit an arc, what does that mean?
So when the phone made either a data transfer or a phone call or a text message at 2:35, the phone communicated with the tower in an amount of time consistent that it had to be in an arc that covered the area of the home where the baby was dropped off.
Okay. So then what happened after that?
Around 2:35 to 2:55, the phone starts slowly going back northbound towards Dyersburg. We learned through our investigation by 3:11 p.m. that a 911 call was coming in about the child being in the yard. From 2:57 to 3:23, the phone starts tracking towards Bells, Tennessee, southeast again, eventually towards Jackson.
Okay. And does it eventually reach Jackson?
It does. At 3:39 p.m., the telephone number was back in the Jackson, Tennessee area. Of great significance to the investigative team, at 4:22 p.m., I'll try to explain this. It's a little bit difficult, but I mentioned the arcs where a phone can be in. So if you've got a sector pointing this way and you have the arc, but if you're in a city and you got multiple towers close, sometimes you'll see the arc from this tower and then the other tower facing back at you, you'll see its arc. So if you ever have 2 arcs intercept, you can not only say the phone is in the arc, you can say it's exactly, you can say with great confidence that the phone is where the 2 arcs intercept. You almost have to see that, but where the 2 arcs from 2 towers intersected from 4:22 p.m. to 6:06 p.m. was right over Austin Drummond's parents' home. Approximately 6:34, we saw the phone being in an area consistent with the Clarion Hotel again. And then at 8:44 p.m., we saw the phone being in an area consistent with being back at Cherry Grove Apartments at Caitlin Speed's residence. And then of note, the phone went off the network. Well, let me mention this. Of note, Lake County receives the 911 call at 8:17 p.m., kind of alerting the family and the public to what's going on. The phone went off the network for the last time ever at 8:44 p.m. So the phone was just turned on for that day and then was never used again after 8:44 p.m.
Thank you, Agent Lawson. I'll pass it over.
Yes.
Mr. Huffman?
A few questions, Agent Lawson.
Yes.
So your role in this case was essentially limited to the cell phone data analysis, correct?
Cell phone analysis and just assisting with interpretation in the command post of the timeline, the video, and the phone data.
Okay. All right. Now, I actually understand what you're talking about with the triangulation regarding those things. The only way...
Again, we have been listening into this hearing out of Tennessee where a man charged in the murder of 4 people is having this hearing out of Tennessee. Again, he is charged in the killings of a set of parents, a grandmother, and an uncle of an infant. That infant, thankfully, is all right, but it was found abandoned in a front yard in western Tennessee. This would have been at the very end of July. And then last month, that suspect, Austin Robert Drummond, who was 28 years old, was taken into custody. We've been listening in right there to some of the witnesses and experts testifying on this case. And we'll continue to kind of listen in and out of this because we know this is a very serious and unfortunately very sad story coming out of Tennessee. Well, switching gears here, back to the Wisconsin Live Desk and back to Milwaukee. It's a little chilly out there, which is shocking because when the kids went back to school on Tuesday, it was beautiful, it was sunny, it was warm. Now it's 61 degrees is what that box right next to me says, but I'm not a weather expert. You know who is? Our very own Stephanie. Stephanie's joining us right now. Stephanie, why is it so cold?
Oh, the million-dollar question, right? I mean, it's well below what it should be for this time of year, but we just have this cooler air mass thanks to a cold front that rolled through yesterday. It brought us some showers, and it just brought in even cooler air from portions of Canada, and so that's what we're dealing with today. And we have another clipper system on the way then for tonight and early tomorrow morning. That's going to keep some of this cooler air in our southeast Wisconsin area through about Sunday, and then next week it looks like 70s finally make a return. We always still see at least one day of heat during the month of September, and it's looking a little bit more likely mid-month that we do see some warmer temperatures moving on in. But take a look at low temps this morning. This is incredible. One of the coolest mornings we have had, at least in Milwaukee, since early June. So since the start of the summer, Milwaukee dropped to 46 this morning, and look at Juneau actually dropped into the upper 30s. There were some far western communities that even saw some very thin frost on grassy surfaces as well as on cars. So that just tells you it is way cooler than what it should be. You know, our average low temperature in the morning is still in the 60s. So the fact that we've had this string of mornings with lows in the 40s and 50s, it's telling. It's way below where we should be. Now, temperatures even at this hour a little cooler than this time yesterday, though this time yesterday we did have that front roll through, so we started to drop. But we are right now in the upper 50s and low 60s. It's 61 in Milwaukee and West Bend, only 59 right now in Waukesha. And we're in our own little bubble. You know, there's a lot of spots still across the U.S. that have summer-like heat even as we enter the month of September. You can see all of these spots down south that are currently in the 90s. Could still see some triple digits in parts of the south today. But then you look up towards the north, especially north of us into Canada. That's where temperatures right now are only in the 40s. But those of us here in the Great Lakes region and Upper Plains, we're the ones that are going to stay on the cooler side. It's also worth mentioning there are still heat advisories out west, and we're talking the Pacific Northwest. You can see a good chunk of Washington as well as northeastern parts of Oregon that are under heat advisories for today, and that's for air temperatures in the 90s, or I should say feel like temperatures in the 90s, maybe even pushing triple digits. That'll continue through this evening, and then they'll start to cool things down a little bit heading into the next couple of days. Notice how that doesn't include Seattle or the coast. It's more so inland and eastern parts of those states. But still, spots that don't really heat up that much, they've got it while we stay on the cool side. Now, temperatures the rest of this afternoon, I should say, will stay in the low 60s. Tonight won't be quite as cold as the 40s we saw this morning because we'll have cloud cover in the area. But tomorrow afternoon will be just as cool as today, if not even a degree or two cooler. There could be some spots north and inland tomorrow. So ending the week Friday, that actually falls short of 60. But as we talked about, as this started, it does look increasingly likely that we climb back above average by the middle of the month. This is the Climate Prediction Center's temperature outlook, and this is for 8 to 14 days from now. So it's, again, more so pinpointing the middle of the month. I think models are looking at mid-70s, maybe some upper 70s during this time, and by that time of September, that'll be above average. So just know it looks like we're going to heat things up maybe a little bit more in the coming weeks. Quick check of satellite and radar. If you're just now stepping outside, you will notice some cloud cover. That's all it is for now, but there is some rain out towards the west. We'll start to see that rolling in late this evening, not until after about 9 or 10 p.m., and then some light rain passing throughout our overnight hours. We then dry out heading into Friday. But also, I'll leave you with this. Wind is really going to ramp up as this system rolls through overnight tonight. You can see out west where the rain is right now in the Dakotas. We have wind advisories and even a high wind warning. The wind gust the last time I was on here was over 50 miles per hour in Bismarck, North Dakota, and that's probably a little too high for those of us here locally. Right now it's up to about 48, but tomorrow we could easily have some wind gusts, potentially between 30, 35 miles per hour, and even today gusts are over 20 miles per hour. So just know as that next system rolls in, it's going to keep us on the cool side, it's going to bring us a little bit of rain, and it's also going to ramp the wind up. But the weekend looks great. The Packers are playing on Sunday, first game of the season. The weather for that looks great. Very typical Green Bay weather on the way, so really it's a little cooler than average, but no complaints. It's very comfy, at least here.
Yeah. No, I would say it feels like fall outside. I love fall temperatures. I'm happy, but you were telling Kim, and our producer Delaney just came in my ear, you guys are acting like it's winter with those, you need your seat warmers on.
I know. I was dramatic, and now I'm wearing a sleeveless top, so
right.
it doesn't fully make sense. But I'm the type of person where I need to warm up right away.
Yeah.
And then I get too hot, and then I need to cool the temperature down. It's the way I am.
Well, I was telling Delaney, you guys are lucky. It's a luxury to have seat warmers, a luxury that I
true.
don't even have. So I can't even call you dramatic because I couldn't turn them on if I wanted to.
It's a good investment. I'll leave it at that.
She's leaving us with some wise words right there. All right, thanks so much, Stephanie. I know you got a meeting to get to, so we appreciate you just taking the time to give us our forecast there. Not too bad. I know it's a little cold for some people, but it really is nice. And she was just telling us mid-month it should heat up there, so I'm looking forward to that. She was pointing out on the map too, Stephanie, some of the hotter spots right now that still has some of that summer heat. You know what one of them is? Delaney just put my name super up, and I'm going to change the camera. Sorry, Delaney. Philadelphia. We're taking a live look right here at Lincoln Financial Field, where it is 82 degrees right now. That does sound really nice. And if you're a football fan, it looks like you're not going to have to worry about any rain delays today because the sky is blue in Philly. Of course, the NFL season is kicking off tonight. They're taking on the Dallas Cowboys. What do they call them? The America's team right there. This game tonight, 7:20. I feel like the Eagles are going to win it, but you never know. That's why you got to always stay tuned. I just know so many people, whether you are an Eagles fan, a Cowboys fan, a Packers fan, or just an NFL, football fan, they are so excited this season is back. And again, 82 degrees in Philly. I could go for that right now. We could also go for a quick little break, and then we should be checking in with our very own Ben Handelman soon. Normally he's here on the desk, but he's in the field today, so we'll take you out there in a little bit. But for now, we'll be right back after this break.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Well, welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk this Thursday afternoon. Time check for you, 2:03. And it is a little chilly here in Milwaukee. I hope you have nice weather if you're tuning in from somewhere else. But I'm Haley Spittler. I'll be with you guys for about the next half hour here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, where you never know what you're going to get. And today, I mean, we're going to uncover a little bit of shopping history. You're used to seeing Ben here on the desk, but our very own Ben Handelman, he's joining us from the field today. But you're not too far from us. You're actually just across the street, really, from the station. Ben, tell us about Treasure Island.
Hey, Haley. Good to be on the Wisconsin Live Desk. They finally let me out of the box. They finally let me come out into the field, but they said you have to still be in eye shot of Fox 6, which is literally... That's where Haley is. She's over there.
It's true.
And we're across the street. And I'm here with Nate Piotrowski, the development director with the Village of Brown Deer, because something has been unleashed behind us, a whole lot of history as the future of Brown Deer is being developed right now. So can you just tell us, because we, as people who work across the street, have all been staring at this, and we're so excited for what's to come, but we're also fascinated about the history of the project. Where should we start? Let's start with what's to come. So what is going on behind you? What's being built over here?
So we have demolition going on right now. We have a group from Omaha, Nebraska called Woodsonia Realty, and they are behind what's called Riverside Landing, which is a new mixed-use residential and commercial development that will be anchored by Target. And this demolition process has opened up the facade of the old Marketplace Shopping Center, which was unfortunately filled with, or not filled, very vacant and kind of derelict and down on its luck. And we see the old Treasure Island that was the first commercial development on this corner here in Brown Deer kind of being revealed.
That's the wavy roof back there. So for people of a certain age, they will remember the Treasure Island, which I describe as like the first ever Walmart superstore. Opened up in the 60s, was massive. We're talking 200,000 square feet, but it had a unique wavy roof, right? I mean, what was sold back there?
Pretty much every type of good you can imagine. I talked to some people this week at Village Hall who said that they bought their first Walkman there. They had home goods. They had some furniture that they unfortunately lost in the flood that they still had. So they sold everything. And as we were talking, Ben, it's really kind of coming full circle that you're now having another major retailer that sells everything coming back in a smaller footprint, 128,000 square feet, to fill this space. And they'll start building probably by this winter, and it'll be a 14 to 18 month build out for the new store.
I will tell you, I cried when the TJ Maxx left, because when you spilled like coffee or soda on a tie and you freaked out and you didn't know what to do, and you're like, it's okay, I can run across the street to TJ Maxx. And now I can't do that, but we're so excited because now whenever I pour ketchup on my pants, I can run across the street again.
Soon, yep. I think the community has really wanted to have retail thrive here, and it's struggled for all sorts of different reasons: lack of investment, identity issues, perception problems, and the village has worked really hard to try to transform that and make people realize that this is a good community to invest in, and I think this new store will do really well, and you'll be able to get more than just ties.
You know what's crazy? And I want to talk about what's happening in the Village of Brown Deer right now, because there is construction happening all around our TV station, and it's pretty wild. We've got brand new apartments that are pretty expensive, actually, good market rate. We've got this project. There will be apartments here in the future. Right. And then I want you to talk about what's going on with the stream that nobody knows about.
Sure. So I would put Brown Deer's recent investment per capita up against really almost any suburb in the metro area. I would put over $150 million price tag on all of the new development that's coming into the community in terms of assessed value. We have a youth sports complex from Cobalt Partners that's proposed. Over 300 new market rate apartments that are coming online. And then I think you hit on a really unique feature that we're looking to do here. It's about changing that identity and that perception. So we're adding new park space at 10 Mile Park and at North Shore Rotary Park.
And 10 Mile Park is right on Brown Deer, right where the bike trail is, right?
Yes. Yep. That's a $2.5 million park with pickleball, pump track, nature play areas, and then we have a tributary of the Milwaukee River, the old Beaver Creek, that actually ran underneath the site of the Treasure Island. It was relocated when Treasure Island was built and moved to the north to kind of get out of their giant footprint. And it was enclosed. It was encased in a culvert and put underground, and parking was paved over it. And so no one knows that it's here. It actually runs in between the north side of this project and the south side of the remaining Pick and Save store. And the village is wanting to daylight that and open it back up and make that a nice green amenity and a gateway feature to coming in to Riverside Landing.
I'm one of the people, I had no idea that there used to be a creek that ran. So, I mean, we're talking the old McDonald's. It would run right underneath where the McDonald's was?
More or less, yes. Basically, kind of right out in front of their old playland that they had on the front of the building. That was right where the edge of the culvert was. So,
where does it go on the other side? Because
it's behind the Wendy's.
Okay.
And so there's a little bike trail connection over there that we've added, and that links up to the Oak Leaf, and that area was naturalized about 3 or 4 years ago, and it flows behind Wendy's and the industrial buildings that we have there through the business park, and then it comes underneath Green Bay Road and it disappears. And then it reappears when you get towards the YMCA and some of their open space south of their building.
So yeah, that'd be a really cool project just to open, again, up some of the green space here. I always think it's a little bit of a shame that you don't even realize the Milwaukee River is right there, but there's opportunities now to kind of reconnect Brown Deer with the river that they are adjacent to.
100%. That's definitely correct. I don't think we agreed with the developer to call this Riverside Landing without actually kind of emphasizing the river and turning the focus back towards that great amenity. You know, you have 50 acres of great natural area along the river that's undeveloped, that we hope to partner with the YMCA on. The Audubon Society has some land adjacent to it, and then we have Badger Meter Park on the river as well. Right. So open it up for passive recreation, you know, nature walks, hiking, birding, all of that, and then bring that greenery out into the development to allow people that shop here, play here, eat here, live here in the future to have a really great space to recreate.
I'm very excited to work here because I'm now excited for all the things that are happening in Brown Deer. You said it's a very small staff at Village Hall, so you must lose a lot of sleep at night with all these projects you're juggling at once right now.
We're very busy right now, but it's exciting. It's been a long time coming. Our community has really asked for a lot of this to take shape and have given us that feedback over the years through our planning processes, our comprehensive planning efforts. And so the direction that we're seeing is a result of years worth of effort kind of behind the scenes. You know, I tell people all the time, development takes time. As you have seen from your years here at the studios, it takes time, but with a good plan and a good staff, you can bring that to fruition, and it's rewarding.
You've said it. I mean, you've stood on top of the mountaintop screaming how great Brown Deer is for years. What do you think's changed that it's all coming together at the same time for so many of these projects?
I don't think it's just one thing, Ben. I think it's a combination of factors. You know, it's strategic investment from the community and DOT adding, you know, streetscape along Brown Deer Road and new landscaping, taking down the bridge that was the overpass on Highway 57. It is a couple of developers kind of being visionaries and seeing an opportunity at our old public works site that we relocated and moving that building out of the way to allow for a successful apartment project that, you know, kind of opened the eyes of the real estate community. It's kind of moving all of those pieces together, priming the pump, getting the infrastructure in place, and then, you know, I wouldn't I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say there was just a bit of luck sometimes too. You know, sometimes somebody calls you and just out of the blue, and they say, do you have any opportunities? And you say, yes, I have this awesome site right by the river, but there's a landlord that really doesn't want to invest in it. Do you want to come take a look? And you drive them around town and you show them what's going on and you show them this opportunity, and they kind of get the vision. And there's not really much more to it than just kind of constantly being that salesperson for the community while you're doing the other stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to work in Brown Deer at Fox 6. Obviously, the studio's been there a long time. It's just wild how the view has just suddenly changed all around us in every direction. We can't wait to see what comes in the years ahead, and I'm so excited for able to grab a tie across the street when I ruin it. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, Haley.
Yes.
Yeah, you're new to Brown Deer.
I am.
And working here. So to you, this probably seems normal, but I'm telling you, this is not normal what's happening all around us right now.
No, it's an exciting time to be living here. It also just makes me wonder, like, what other architectural features just get covered up when new construction comes through, because it's so crazy to see those waves. But the real question that I need to know here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, Ben, is how often are you spilling ketchup on yourself that you need a store across the street?
Very often.
Okay.
Often enough now where I have like 10 ties in my locker because I don't have a place to run across the street anymore.
All right, well, I'm glad that you figured out a temporary solution, and I'm glad, Ben, that pretty soon you can go shopping at Target again. That'll be great. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us on the other side of the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's been a real treat.
Yeah, it's weird to be on this side of the Wisconsin Live Desk. I feel untrapped over here.
Yeah, you can breathe. You've got nice airflow. You're not in a closet. I really think you're moving on up, Ben.
Yeah, I got to come back over there, though. So, all right, I'll see you guys soon.
All right, we'll see Ben soon. How fun to have him here on the Wisconsin Live Desk today. He's working on that story about those old Treasure Island waves, as well as all the new development coming to Brown Deer. It's so much more than I even realized was going on. Some very fun news there. A couple of things that we've been monitoring while we've been listening to Ben give us kind of the latest scoop on that Brown Deer development. It was raining in D.C., which the shot doesn't look quite as rainy now, but it was something to see. Made me feel better about the colder temperatures, because at least we're not dealing with rain right now, although there is some in the forecast that we're monitoring. Also happening right now, and this is actually out of Tampa, Florida. This is AG Pam Bondi, who is doing a press conference right now regarding recent enforcement actions by Joint Task Force Alpha, that's JTFA, to combat transnational criminal organizations involved in human smuggling. So we're not going to listen to this for too long, but I do just want to listen in for a little bit and see if we can get any more information in this press conference.
To this task force to give us even more manpower. We will receive more resources to prosecute these cases, and key figures in cartel, human trafficking, and transnational criminals. We will strengthen our collaboration with foreign law enforcement throughout this world to protect not only their citizens, but ours, and return these criminals to American soil for prosecution. Under President Trump, we have coordinated more closely with our U.S. attorneys' offices to protect unaccompanied children being smuggled into our country from exploitation. One of the task force's greatest accomplishments has been demonstrating how dangerous human smuggling and trafficking are for those being transported. For those who are considering paying to be smuggled into the U.S., it is not safe for you or for your families. These coyotes are coordinating with terrorist organizations, collecting money from them to bring families and unaccompanied children into our country. These operations are getting people killed. Let me be clear. If you smuggle human beings, you will be found, you will be prosecuted, and you will be brought to justice. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what our borders are. The limit of where our country ends and another begins, but it does not limit our law enforcement capabilities to bring you to the United States and prosecute you and lock you up for as long as we can. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, if you were just joining us, we were listening in there to Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking at the podium talking about human smuggling. She had a pretty strong message there saying that if you smuggle in human beings, whether that be families or unaccompanied minors, that you will face consequences, you will be prosecuted. She just ended that speech saying she will try and get the maximum amount of time for anyone who smuggles in human beings. Again, that is coming out of Tampa, Florida right now. That press conference is still going on as they give kind of some updates as far as the Joint Task Force Alpha and how they are combating transnational criminal organizations involved in human smuggling. So we will certainly keep our eye on that here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I do want to take one more quick break and come back, and we have some exciting things to talk about. Some movie nights coming up in Milwaukee, your chance to become a billionaire, because yes, there's still a chance. No one has won that Powerball for a while now. And maybe we'll talk about a new way that I just decided I would spend the money. We talk about that a lot here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, but I came up with a really good way that I would spend $1 to $2 million of it. So that's what we like to call a tease. I know you're going to want to stick around for the answer, and you'll get that in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk this Thursday afternoon. Time check for you, 2:21, which is making me sad. It means we only have about 10 minutes left together for today. Of course, the Wisconsin Live Desk will be back tomorrow from 12:30 to 2:30. One thing you should do either today or tomorrow is go and grab a Powerball ticket. We keep talking about it because people keep losing and the jackpot keeps growing. It is now up to $1.7 billion, which is crazy. Your odds of winning, they are very slim. It is 1 in 292,201,338, but you still have a chance. It doesn't say 0, so you got a small chance. And 1.7 billion, that's crazy. I mean, you've got to still be walking away with at least like 800 million at that point. How do you play? You got to go get a ticket. It's only $2. You need to bring cash. And again, drawings are held Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at 9:59 p.m., meaning your next chance to win is in 2 days. So yeah, either go out today or tomorrow and get your Powerball tickets. I know in the newsroom I was listening to some people tell me that they are doing like a group one, like where one person's going, getting a bunch of tickets, and then if they win, they'll split the money. I would participate in that because I always get nervous about like what I say at the cash register and if I mess that up. But I know you guys are wondering how I would spend it because Delaney and I have talked about being responsible and traveling. But now with that much money, I mean, you can have so much fun. So what I have decided, I'm going to show you a live look in the Deer District here at Pfizer Forum. Why? Because this is where I'm seeing, first of all, windy, but this is where I'm seeing the Jonas Brothers in October. And so I thought to myself, well, how much would a private concert cost? Because I'm going to be, again, I have to have at least $700, $800 million just like burning a hole in my wallet if I win the Powerball. Delaney, any guesses how much it costs to have the Jonas Brothers do a private concert?
I have no idea.
Okay. I was thinking that it was going to be like, I don't know, $100,000 because that still seemed like so much. I was wrong. It is anywhere from $1 to $1.5 million to have the Joe Bros come to your backyard, but that is nothing if you win the Powerball. So that's my new thing I'm going to say is that I would have a private concert with the Joe Bros. Obviously, I would demand that Joe sing a bunch of songs because I love Joe. He's my favorite. I would have him sing Jealous, which is actually Nick Jonas' song, but Joe does it better. Yeah, he does. Speaking of celebrities and Hollywood, again, there is a chance to see a movie tonight in Deer District, which we were just talking about, but which one? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We do have to take one last break, and then I'll have that answer for you in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We have just about 3 minutes left together today, and then you actually get me for both hours tomorrow. So maybe that's good news to you, maybe that's bad news to you. Good news to me, I could go see Wicked tonight if I wanted to in downtown Milwaukee. You guys, this is so exciting. It is the final free summer film series tonight, and the movie, what a good one to go out on. Wicked. So this is going to start at 6 p.m. There will be food and drink available for sale. You are encouraged to bring your own blankets and chairs. I certainly would not skip the blankets tonight. I would bundle up. It's going to be a little chilly, but I still think beautiful, and I should be dry for you, which is also key for any outdoor event. Some good news here too. Not only is it free to watch the movie, it's also free to park if you go to Highland Garage, which is off of 6th Street. Wicked, if you didn't know, it's part 1 of a 2-part series, Wicked for Good, which is the second half of the musical if you've seen it on Broadway, and the second half of the movie that comes out this November. And actually, a new trailer for it came out yesterday. I watched it. It got me all excited again. Delaney, are you a Wicked fan?
I am.
Okay. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so excited for the sequel. Wicked for Good also plays off of the song For Good, which I cannot wait to hear Ariana and Cynthia sing together. I think it will be magical. The two of them, they have the best vocal blends. But I'm also so excited, Delaney, for more Jonathan Bailey. He was barely in the first one. He plays Fiyero, and I know he's going to have a much bigger role in the second movie. Do you have a favorite character in Wicked, Delaney?
I like Elphaba. I feel like
Elphaba.
you can't not.
You can't not. She defies gravity. I mean, and she cares. What an empathetic character. She cares for everybody, whether it's the animals, her sister, her friends, Fiyero, because she loves him. I do think that Ariana Grande does a great job as Glinda. Cynthia Erivo does a great job as Elphaba, but I mean, Fiyero is not my favorite in the musical when I go see it on a Broadway production, but in the movie, I'm gonna give it to Jonathan Bailey. I love Jonathan Bailey. If you're like, Haley, I don't know what you're talking about, go see the movie tonight again, 6 p.m. at the Deer District. Delaney's laughing at me because I think she was like, dang, that was a smooth transition, Haley. And I know, Delaney, it was. Again, completely free. You aren't gonna regret seeing this, but I would definitely bring the blankets because it is just a little bit chilly and a little bit windy, as Stephanie was telling us. Well, hey, it has been so much fun hanging out today on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll do it all again tomorrow, 12:30, Friday. We've almost made it. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back. We have another exciting episode of the ISO Bar, the highs and lows of meteorology. I am joined by my cohorts. We have Emily down the road in Chicago, chief meteorologist there, and of course, chief meteorologist Rich out in Detroit. Wow, we do this every 2 weeks, guys, and I feel like every 2 weeks,